Well, today has been the revenge of Malice. Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. Next play had a slightly smaller attendance this week, but I want to blame some of that to the shift in the meta. You know, Rizol has just left the building, and make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So, Rizol has left the building. Sayonara, goodbye rank 4 turbo, you're gone. Justice Hunters has entered into the fray out here, and it has just been a mess, man. Malice players have been working overtime out here with their one Dormouse to figure out the best way to ensure that they can stay ahead of the meta right now, because they're the ones that from the former, they're the last one in the sand out here. They're trying their best to hold on and see what they can do out here against this meta. Now, there were only 3 of them, and they put up a good fight this week. Now, Yummy, on the other hand, holy crap, man. Yummy was your highest represented deck out of participation, and Yummy just, it does so much craziness. And then on the follow-up, freaking Dragon Tail down here has just been also running the show. Both Dragon Tail and Yummy, both of these decks just do extraordinarily broken things, and it's pretty impressive to see. So that's your biggest parts of the pie chart. Now, your challengers out here are actually, we had one Memento, which Memento's been kind of holding on and doing all right. Blue Eyes still remains a pretty strong challenger out here. I mean, we've seen it off and on over the course of the weekend out of the OCG, so the deck still does good. We also have some Crystron action, and we also have this Magistus deck, which I don't have the list for. I really wish I did. We get the chance to kind of see what's going on with that. And then we also have a stun deck for you as well. But your biggest changes here in this meta are Rizol is gone. You actually have no White Forest and no Regenesis players present here for this either. We've talked a little bit about how, you know, the A-tier decks are able to do well, but the A-tier decks and even like the B-tier, usually when you're looking at the tier list, they have the hardest time actually adjusting to the meta and actually putting up results, and it does become a wee little bit of an issue. Now, your top 8, all 3 Malice players smashed on into this top cut. Malice was not having any objections this weekend. Those Malice players said, we have been working really hard to counteract this meta. We are going to find a way to overcome the matchups, and we are going to sit on top of this throne. And they did it. They actually were able to overcome and do things. And I'm very happy about that. Now, you also have Yummy down here. Yummy had a terrible conversion rate, man. You had, out of the 6 Yummy decks, only 2 were able to make it on into top cut. And speaking of terrible conversions, out of the 5 Dragon Tail players you had, only 1 was able to make it into top 8. Now, obviously, Dragon Tail was actually your winner for this event. Who would have guessed that, right? Once you get into the grind session out here, I guess that deck does very well. And then Crystron actually doing well. And we have our Magistus deck. Yet again, Magistus, honestly, I'm kind of curious to know what this build was. What engine packages were you playing? What you know, how abusive was Borreload Savage for you out here on those end boards? These are the cards that typically are most associated with Magistus. But overall, a very ferocious top cut. Now let's pass on over to those deck lists. We got your Dragon Tails. Woo! I'm never going to get over that, man. That intro is going to stick around with me for a very long time. Now, your innovations for this week. Kick it up with the King of the Swamp out here. As you're looking for the way to toggle for all of the brokenness that you could have. So you're maximizing on triple King of the Swamp, the triple search for it, double polymerization. You don't really want to extend too much beyond that. I think that those are the correct ratios. Oh my god, they actually have the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon down in the extra deck. You mean to tell me that this deck can make Tyrant Dragon? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see Tyrant Dragon showing up as an option for a deck like this. It's an interesting choice to be seeing. In terms of interesting values, though, Ghost Bell is looking like an absolute must in this format. If I'm looking at a list here and I'm seeing triple Ghost Bell here, I'm going to be, upfront and honest. It makes sense because Ghost Bell counteracts so much of the abuse that you see out of a lot of these decks that you need to be able to shut your opponent out of the graveyard and stopping those key effects. Yeah, Bell is going to be an absolute mandatory card. The rest of this extra deck is kind of insane for the things that you just get access to and you're allowed to play. This deck is very, very scary, everybody. I underestimated it. It very much is going to be a monster. Now, the return of Malice to the meta. I gotta clap for you guys. You guys have just lost so much. You lost another shifter, you lost Dormouse, but you guys have been persistent. You have been trying to evolve this deck as much as you can, and I'm really happy to see that this deck still is able to do its thing. Now, in terms of cool things in here, one of each of the Bestials, I don't really think you're going to try to take too much away from that. Those Bestials are just going to be incredibly important cards for what they're able to do. Of course, you're also stuck on the one Allure of Darkness. I guess if you do see the one Allure, you're able to do your thing. Backup, adding Nister, maximizing at 3, and Wizard coming back into the main. I'm not really surprised to see that, but I think that that's a very good thing. I also see that we have triple Antsy on the side. All right, well, I guess if you're truly worried about the mirror match out here being a problem, you're going to call this up. But we're also only playing a single Ghost Bell in this list in the side deck. That's interesting. We also have the Different Dimension Ground. If you can get the Different Dimension Ground up and running against Dragon Tail, I feel like you just kind of win the game. And once again, when you have another graveyard-based deck just tearing through the dimensions, it would make sense. But this is actually a pretty good list. It's within what I was expecting to be seeing for this. Now, don't worry. We have more Malice for you. Now, this list actually is completely different from what you're doing with the others. Well, first of all, we're only doing 2 Martairs. That's an interesting choice. And then we've cut down on the secondary name on this. So, in terms of your names, you're just cutting back on this stuff. I guess you're not really too worried about the consistency of things. We're also only doing 1 backup adding Nister in here. I do not like that at all. I feel like backup adding Nister is just such an important card for this deck. I guess your trade-off with this build is you are playing triple copies of Signet Mining, so you're just going to be toggling for value anyway. Also, looking down here at the extra deck, looks just fine. I also see that we are actually dedicating a slot to the Link Spider, which is kind of nice. Wizard gets kicked to the side deck, which is kind of a shame, because I think maximizing on all of those power cards is a lot better than dedicating a slot to the triple Signet Mining. You also do get the chance to see Pankratops down here. Pankratops has been seeing a massive amount of uptick in the OCG. It's actually kind of interesting to see how much people have been enjoying seeing this card do its thing. And I see Dark Ruler No More is present down here as well. We've learned our lesson about Dark Ruler No More now in the OCG. It is a massively strong card. It does so much for you. And our last list out of this here appears to be some Yummy action. Wow, you mean to tell me that Yummy had this much of a problem trying to climb up the ranks here and make its way in? I see we are doing the Black Goat Laughs in here. Triple Pyrays map, which I think is fine. Pyrays is meant to get you into the search cards. And it's not like you don't have Thrust to get you into the evenly to disrupt your opponent. It looks like the Yummy is attempting to do some different modes of things here to try to keep up with the opponent, which is actually pretty good. I also see that we have Metaltronius action down here as well. If you've learned anything, it's another card that tears apart the mirror match for another fundamentally weird format. So, I guess. Metaltronius, I can't wait for the day that we see this card get limited. It shouldn't, honestly, but it's definitely coming. But this gives you some insight into the I'm going to say the triangle format that the OCG is experiencing right now. Not everything has been revealed out of Alliance Insight, and this just might be a temporary thing, but it's interesting to see the counterbalancing that they're doing out here in this format. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.